Yeah, and give other drivers plenty of space as well.
Right.
Let's get to Adam Claiborne now with more on the forecast and what we can expect in the coming hours and days.
Yeah, so we are going to have another system come in. It looks like throughout the night, pretty weak disturbance pushing on by, so limited moisture there, and then a larger one comes in as we head into later tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, and into a lot of the day on Saturday. Now, today we did see that system move through. Maybe a lot of you went to sleep last night, woke up this morning, didn't even see a raindrop. There wasn't much rain, especially around parts of Puget Sound, as we picked up about a tenth to maybe a third of an inch here across some parts. Now, we got a little more out there along the coast, but not a big rain producer, not a lot of moisture really associated with this. And then up across the mountains, there was not any sort of high amounts of snow, although I think we are going to get some of these amounts to come up a little more because these were reported earlier into the day, especially Stevens Pass, Snoqualmie Pass, and down into Crystal Mountain and White Pass. Mount Baker, we're getting some pretty recent totals from that, so that's about a foot of snow over the past 24 hours. But again, expect some of these numbers right here to start to go up once we get some of those latest reports in as we go throughout tonight and into early tomorrow. Now, traction tires are required for Stevens and Snoqualmie Pass. What a mess we had up there earlier this morning. Now, traction tires only advised for White Pass. We've got some spotty areas of snow and slush there. Either way, make sure that you are giving yourself plenty of space and make sure that you're going pretty slow as we go across the mountain passes here as we go into the night. Bellingham, last few rays of sunlight trying to show themselves right there between some of the clouds, but it's going to be a dry start as we head into our Thursday night. Pretty dry here in Seattle, 41, chilly still. Southeast winds coming in at 7 miles per hour. Expect those numbers to drop a little more than they did last night as some colder air tries to settle in here across the area. 38 in Everett, 43 in Tacoma. We're sitting at 39 in Shelton, Chehalis, coming in at 39 degrees. Good evening, Bellingham. We're at 42 degrees. Here's the moisture, a lot more of it across the eastern side of the state, and then we're seeing a little bit of it here, right here, across parts of western Washington. Zooming into some of our northern locations, areas of rain generally here closer to Puget Sound. You got to go up into the foothills and more so into the mountains before you start to switch on over to some of that snow. But I think as the colder air comes in right here into parts of Snohomish County, you could start to see that scoot its way a little farther towards the west, deeper on into the night. And we're starting to see a little bit of that happening right here, looking at I-90 and seeing some of that rain and snow starting to work its way back closer to around the Renton Highlands as well as around Issaquah. Could see a few snowflakes, not expecting any accumulations from that. South Sound generally just wet down this way, some pretty light rain, and then seeing some off and on showers as you get closer to the coast. That system's going to be moving on out of here. This one's going to be the larger one that brings in a lot more of that moisture, so as opposed to only seeing that tenth to maybe a third of an inch, we're talking about amounts that could get closer to an inch of rain later tomorrow going on through Saturday. Tonight, keep an eye out again right here into Snohomish County. That rainstorm line could extend a little farther off to the west as we get some of this to move on through, as well as some parts here closer to Puget Sound, but not going to see a huge event out of that. That gets out of here fairly quickly, so a few snowflakes possible early into tomorrow morning, and then we go into the day, and it looks like right there along Coda Canal, western Kitsap Peninsula, we get a small chance with some colder air kind of locked in there of seeing some snow as well, but looks like we'll get that southerly wind. That'll keep everything in the form of rain, but still quite a time of rain as we head on into Friday night. Early Saturday morning, still more rain around and going through a lot of the day on Saturday with more of that rain. So let's talk about the amounts. Rain amounts around a half an inch to an inch here around Puget Sound. So quite a bit more than our last system. And then we're going to see quite a bit more of snow up across the mountains too, as we can get anywhere from, it looks like a half a foot to a foot, maybe a bit more farther to the north. Here's your 7-day forecast. Low 40s here over the next few days. Low 40s and upper 30s to start off on Monday, but it is a drier stretch Monday through Thursday.